Hey guys, today we are looking at Legend of Grimrock. This is an indie game released in 2012, and more specifically, it is a dungeon crawler. Now, I have only good things to say about this game, but before you let me do that, I should probably show you what the beginning looks like. So you have different modes. I'm accustomed to the normal mode, and let's see, I don't really need to create characters, and there's also old school mode, which turns off auto mapping, and I've never tried it, but I'm sure it could be a lot of fun. So here is the beginning. Welcome to Mount Grimrock. So I'm hoping that you're the kind of audience that can actually read for themselves, so I don't have to. So we have these prisoners just coming in, and they're not too good of people, which is why they're prisoners, and maybe, I guess they get a second chance at Mount Grimrock. So yeah, the knights, I suppose, are like, okay, if we throw the guys in here, they'll never get out, so that's pretty good punishment. So they're basically pushed off. So you might ask yourselves, which one are we going to play as? Well, I will tell you once it loads up. So the way this works is we are actually in control of all four characters. So we have the Minotaur, which is Mork, and as you can see, there's a bunch of different attributes. This is an RPG, and so as such, there's different attributes that will change as you level up. There's also food mechanics, so you will need to eat food to survive. And there's skills, which you get points, skill points when you level up, and you get different milestones, which will give you different bonuses. So this guy's actually got blue hands. This is Sansaron, and the names change every time, of course. And he's actually a spellcaster, so you'll collect scrolls and then you'll be able to cast magic. So we start off in this room, and we can actually pick up this torch, and this will be useful. And actually it says here, so pick up the torch if you don't want to perish in this cell. And now we can actually walk around and bring light to everything or everywhere we go. So I'm just looking around, and you can see sometimes there'll be differences in the walls, and that's actually a button that I discovered my second playthrough. I have played maybe maybe 5 hours, a lot of time, I would say. And we've picked up these lurker boots, gives us 5 evasion. This guy's currently is 6 and none. So since I've got these two characters in the front, I'm going to want to primarily focus on their protection and evasion and other things such as attack. The guys in the back can get attacked, but it's less likely that that someone will sneak up on you. So again, I'm just kind of looking around. We have bones on the floor. That's not a good sign. Maybe someone didn't pick up the torch. So torches do run out, by the way, so you will need to keep an eye out for other torches that you could possibly use. So yes, as I've mentioned, I've learned to be quite observant in the walls, because you always want to go for those secrets, otherwise you'll have to backtrack if you're missing like a key or something. Usually they're like secret areas though, and you know, like who wouldn't want these extra items, really? So we have peasant's breeches and peasant's tunic. So let's see what these do. They do +2 protection respectively. So he's at 1, he's at 0. So let's just give 1 to each. Of course, this being an RPG, there is a limited amount of weight that each character can carry, and it changes depending on the character. So eventually we are going to need food. Here we have a cudgel. So -5 accuracy, that's not too great, but we'll give it to Mork. So here we just switch the lever, and now we can proceed to this next area. There is a map, and I am using keyboard and mouse if you haven't noticed the cursor at this point. Sometimes I do use my PS2 controller for games, but this is not one of those cases. So here we have a rock, and let's see. This will be one of the first puzzles. Look, we can't get through there. Obviously, we put the rock on the button, and by doing that, we can proceed through this door. And we actually have 2 ways we could go. Let's just check out this way. We have a brass key. Awesome. So presumably there's going to be a door that requires that brass key. And here we have a rock. I'm just waiting to see if there's going to be an enemy soon so I can show off the combat, which is pretty good. I mean, this game for me is mostly about the puzzles, and also the music is surprisingly good. Like, if you buy this game, go into the main menu and just like listen to the soundtrack and it'll amaze you. So that was our hint, loose rock. And this will be a secret, I think. Nope, not a secret. Here is our iron key. So this game is apparently heavily based on old school dungeon crawlers, but I haven't really played any of those, so I can't really say if it's ripping it off or if it's, you know, faithful or anything like that. So we have a snail here. I'm gonna throw a rock at it. This game is somewhat turn-based, so I can hit him with that, and our characters in the back actually can't reach, and we can either hit them with our hand or like whatever we're holding. I could throw that, I guess. And so you can see that when we hit, our hands and items get grayed out, meaning that we can't do anything for a set period of time. And red bar is our health, and blue bar is energy, and we got some XP. This is snail slice, which is a food item. And so now we can get some loot. +4 protection. So this character's at 3. This one's at 2, so let's give it to the Minotaur. He's actually already got boots, so yeah, so we'll just give it to Kontar. Stone Skull? I'm not sure if that's the most appealing name. It's like thick head. But anyhow, we can give the shuriken to someone in the back, seeing as they can't reach, so throwing weapons are quite good. There's also spears that you can get, which of course go past the members in front, meaning that the person in the back can use a spear. So protection is 2, so let's give it to Mork. And as previously mentioned, the puzzles in this game are perhaps the best part. They do of course ramp up in difficulty, meaning that right now it doesn't look too bad, but it eventually gets harder. Those snails are still asleep, so nothing to worry about. So we do have a good amount of throwing weapons. I think that when you throw something like a... No, never mind. I was gonna say maybe when you throw shuriken it doesn't come back or you can't pick it up. But I don't think that's the case, because I still have a shuriken. And yes, I don't actually have a spell, so I don't know what I was doing there. I'm gonna have to check how much knives do, because I'm not sure if it's that great. But I did get a critical, so that's all dandy. And we automatically pick up our weapons that we threw. So we're just gonna beat this guy up a bit. I have to say, these are some huge snails. Those are freaky. Like, look at it when it bites. You can see all those teeth. Must have a good dentist. And we have a switch there. You can see our map. We have no dead ends up to here, or no unexplored areas, I should say. Pit root bread and another rock. So I'm using WASD to move and E and Q to look around or change the direction I'm looking. So the controls are very much simplistic, and that's a good thing, definitely. Nope, this is new territory. So I'm just stacking up rocks, baked maggot, and our food situation is doing pretty good. And sandals. We should hit the beach. So my front characters already have items on their feet, so we're just going to apply it to someone in the back. Yenica, in this case. Loincloth. It has -1 willpower but +1 attack power. So my front characters already have something in that slot, so we'll just put it on Sanksaron. And I do believe we are done in this area. So yes, you've seen the combat now, and you've seen kind of the starting puzzles, but I'm sure you want to see a bit more. So you know what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna save, and let's just name it Sanksaron. And so it's saved, and we're gonna load into my night file. So my character is a level 2. I did have another file, but it's on my other computer, so we won't be able to see that. And I'm a lot farther in my other file that's not here. But at least you'll get to see snails. So we do have a shield at this point, and we have a I don't know what to call it. A wand. I see it more as a staff, but I'm not gonna try and argue that. So there's also like knights, and there's even dragons later on. And it gets a lot more fun when you actually apply different skill points to different areas, and it actually seems more meaningful. We have a poison spell, and we beat that snail. Poison actually hurts us, I forgot that. So let's see what spells we have. We have Poison Cloud and Fire Burst, so that's pretty awesome. So how do we get into this area that has clothes and an arrow? Well, I actually don't know, but we need a key there, and we don't have a key, so we're gonna need to look for a key. And I'm not really sure where to go. But of course, maybe that's the puzzle. So what can we do? Can I just pick up stuff through here? Oh, I can. And we actually have a key. So that was it, I suppose. Not sure if we can even get that arrow. But now we have some light armor. Do I have anyone that can take light armor? He needs 8 armors to be able to equip the light armor without negative side effects, which is -5 evasion. So I'm not going to bother right now. And we're just going to open this door using the key that we found, obviously. And let's see what we have in here. We have another rock. And I thought that was a knife, but it's just some art, some part of the art style, I suppose. And we're just going to throw rocks on the buttons. And so we can go through here, and we have, I don't know what to call that, some kind of bat eagle thing. So, fire spell. And there's actually a sleeping mechanic that you can use to restore health and energy. But first I'm going to deal with this. And I'm actually going to back out and show you what the sleep looks like. Not that it's that interesting per se, but more just so you can see it. Now, what button do you press for sleeping? I can't remember. R, so it's rest. Sometimes you'll get events during these, like now, which is somewhat rare. ... What is happening? A collective dream? So all our characters are going to be dreaming. I believe it's always a collective dream. So someone's talking to us, and they know what we seek. So how we're able to have a collective dream is anyone's guess, but it happens. Maybe there's something magical about this place. And I do believe that if you're not fully, or if you're starving, then you won't be able to heal all the way. You can see our torch is going out, so I'm gonna want to swap with something like this. And so now we have a bright torch, and we can light the way. So we have a crystal there. That is a save point, I believe. And I'm actually going to look through this way. No weapons allowed inside, so to get in, you're going to have to put your weapons there. I don't really want to do that right now, although I may have to another time. We have just an easy gate. You can actually abuse this, and like, say you have an enemy that came at you and it was sitting right there and you needed to heal, then you would close this. Because of course if you're resting you can get attacked and thus you won't heal. What does this say? Enter thy grave. So I'm not really too keen on activating that. I believe it summons a knight. Holding cells, let's check this out. So this is a teleporting mist. And as you can see, we are now in the holding cells. Is there anyone in here? We have a bag of something there, and a knight. So perhaps I'll press a button and hopefully get what I want. That seems to have just switched things around. So what's happened? We've got the bag that moved down one, and the knight that moved down that way. So let's press it again. And where is our bag? The bag is there now. So it seems like everything just moves down one. And yes, so we got the bag. or the sack, and what is contained in there. A key, pit root bread, and a leather cap. But you know what? This wouldn't be a first impressions video if I didn't die, or else, you know, attempt something that I might die if I am not experienced enough. So we're gonna fight the knights. We may have some difficulty, but I'm hoping not. I guess fire is pretty effective. It did 30 damage. Rocks only did 6, so I'm not gonna do that again. We might be able to kill this knight anyway, yeah. And we got another shield. And we could give the spear to someone. Like that. Although, I don't think that's that great of a deal, because we're mostly going to be using Sanksaron as our magic caster. And actually the names are the same, but I guess you can change them if you wanted to. So we're going to go to the... we're going to save and then go to the main menu. So there we go. And let's look at statistics. Never fallen into a pit, never found a skull. No treasures found. There's a lot we haven't done in this life. So this concludes my Legend of Grimrock video. As you probably would have guessed by now, I very much enjoy this game and recommend it. And I believe it's going for $10 right now, but I'll be sure to include that in the description. And thank you guys for watching.